What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yes, what's up, everybody? Welcome back for another one. Usually we're not live on Tuesdays. Was able to get this one rolling and going forward here when it comes to talking about our Cowboys. Now, our Friday stream probably not happening. So, but the Tuesday stream is definitely, it's on tonight, and hope everybody is doing well. Before we get rolling and into our Cowboy news, info, and updates for today, let's shout out those that make the world go around here on My Cowboys Family.
That's right. Thank you very much to the man, the sponsor of the week, 3 weeks in a row, McLovin.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And by the way, he's repping it for 4 weeks in a row as the Cash App King. So lots of representation there.
Domination, right?
Yeah. So let's see if he'll go for 4 and 5 respectively. Speaking of, streaks and representation and all those things, Jason Renfro, much love. He's got 82 points on that stream, boss. Appreciate him.
Yes.
And a huge and extra special shout out to Skeptical Fan, the man always staying skeptical, who is the membership gifting king.
Yeah, it's back to back.
That's
for
right.
him, 2 weeks in a row. And hey, maybe it's going to be 3 because right now he's got 3 memberships gifted this week. One of them pre-stream, right?
Drop, so congrats to Chris Davis, who was the lucky winner there.
Yes, much love to Mr. Skeptical Fan, who was in a tie for 5th. Now is all by himself in 5th place as he breaks that tie with A. Lavelle. But appreciate you, Mr. Skeptical Fan, as he takes another step forward towards a three-peat on that side. When it comes to this week's leaders, he's the guy there right now. Jason Renfro, of course, 82 points in the stream, boss. And then you got McLovin. Yes, currently he is the overall leader on this board. And hey, listen, I'm going to be right real with you guys. It ain't by much. It's a close battle. Because remember, guys, we had Mr. McLovin here, who was not in first place this week yet. It was, A. Lavelle, Skeptical Fan. We're tied. Skeptical is now in second, or heading towards second place now. I think I got to jump him to second place. Much love to Skeptical Fan, who is right behind him. But McLovin's in first because he dropped 20 yesterday in the After Dark session. You had Smokey and Marissa Sparkle, Mandy, dropping 10, along with SCO 971 as well. And then you had Godless, Manitobian, and Queenie also dropping a couple as well. So appreciate all you guys in the After Dark sessions. There may be one tonight, I heard. So check that out. But anyways, as we keep it rolling, much love to McLovin, Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, and the rest of the people dropping the love here on the nightly. Now, there are different ways of dropping the love. You can see the super chats. There's gifting memberships. You just saw that one with Skeptical Fan. You could jump in the memberships as well, and you can also give love through the thanks button. Actually, I think Mr. Manitobian had dropped love through the thanks button. So thank you guys for doing it that way or any of these ways. But there's 4 of the ways that kind of are more towards the McLovin Cash App King side of things. And these are 4 of the ways you can help the channel with love and support.
Well, you have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yes, and we do have our monthly raffle going down here every month. We everybody who's in the over everything level or the star level memberships get entered into this sewn and stitched jersey, Cowboy Mosh. You know the deal, the great jerseys, old school, new school, any kind of players, styles. We have like 40 different kinds of players here, so you got a large range of players to choose from. But now we're going to start throwing in some of the weekly winners as well into this monthly raffle, so you can get extra chances and up your chances to win by being the weekly winner, whether sponsor of the week or whatever it may be. So appreciate everybody on those sides of things. And speaking of these levels, let's shout out these top levels of our board. We got the navy blue silver 2, but then you got the top 2 levels, star and over everything. Let's give them a shout outs, baby.
Thank you very much, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Andy Potch, Mary Alvarez, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Seabass.
L to the yeah. So appreciate you guys and appreciate everybody here who's in the chat with us. Time for the shout outs.
That's right. Thank you. Make sure to say hello and hi in the chat so we can shout you out. But thank you to Juan Carlos in the house, Asmodeus, much love, Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett, Dustin Roberts, what's up? Kathy Martis, thanks for being here. We have Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. Dustin Roberts in the house, much love. Chris Davis representing. Hey, he's all rolled up and ready to go. Let me see who else is here. C. Bass representing, much love to you. Ganja Man, I disagree with your deck take, but thanks for being here. We have McLovin coming through saying, have a great stream, saying hello and hi.
Thank you.
Always appreciate that.
We'll see you after dark, possibly.
Double R representing. Hope you're also having a great night and or early morning. Jason Renfro, what's up to you? Freedom First was first. Good for you.
Oh, I also forgot that Jason Renfro also was in the After Dark drops. He had $2 dropped in there as well. So
there you go. So Revelation Journalist, what's up? Rolando Rodriguez, much love. Alfred DeLesma. Hopefully said that right. AZ in the house. Shout out to you. Thanks for rolling with us. So, baby, as we get things going here, let me go ahead and hand things off to you and start talking about the news of the day. Yeah,
again, sorry for the late start, everybody. It gets hectic sometimes around the MCF family doing a million different things at once. We're at it here. Let's get rolling to it and through it. So, first and foremost, fun little thing here at the Combine. I don't know if it's a Combine or something, a place where Trayvon Diggs was rehabbing, but there's some video put out there by Aiden Diggs, his son. That little boy was pushing a 135-pound sled. So, hey, I guess not a big deal. It was slow, but he was doing his job.
7 or 8.
I know, that's crazy. So, son of Trayvon Diggs making it kind of look easy out there. Hey, he's heading in the right direction. Now, going now out of the Cowboy world for a moment, into the NFL world, there's the Colts tight end, Drew Ogletree. At the end of the year last year, he had some domestic charges come up against him. Today, all domestic violence charges against him have been dismissed. In Hendricks County, Indiana, prosecutors determined there was a lack of sufficient evidence to go forward with this. The prosecution's motion to dismiss. They stated that subsequent interviews with all of the parties involved revealed information and evidence not provided to law enforcement on the night of the alleged incident. The evidence is insufficient to prosecute this case. So whether the person said, nah, it changed up their story, or they were lying, Ogletree now, he was placed on the commissioner's exempt list and missed the final 2 games of the season. We'll see how long it takes from with it.
That's really unfortunate, and obviously there's no going back in time to kind of bring back those games he missed. So,
and again, NFL still can suspend him, right? If they feel like,
as we know,
because Zeke had that deal with him happen, as we know. So, other players in the league. So there was some players kind of released today. And we're going to talk about a very important one here in a minute, but there's some players released. And, again, Hayden Hurst. We just talked about a tight end. Now another tight end, Hayden Hurst, who I always liked. Looks like the Panthers are releasing him after at the beginning of the new league year. So around March 13th, he will be released officially. Now, today, the Seahawks released 3 players. Will Dissly, a tight end, another one. That's 3 tight ends we talked about. But then they released Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams, both safeties, starting safeties for the Seahawks last year. These moves are going to save them $27.5 million in cash and significant cap space this year for Seattle, which, again, they're going to look a lot different under the former Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, who's taken over there as head coach. It's going to look different, that defense over there in Seattle. So, again, just throwing, these names are flying around out there. But, again, don't get all happy, Cowboy fans. Like, we're going to get Quandre. We're going to get Jamal. No, it ain't happening. Trust me. Now, here's where we get to, we talk about free agents. You see it on the front of the picture, on the front of the thumbnail here, some options coming up. And I think one of them, if you look closely, he's on the screen here. Right there, right in between number 6 and Mike Zimmer. Number 55 right there. And his name is Jerome Baker. He's a linebacker for the Dolphins. The Dolphins are releasing their starting linebacker, Jerome Baker. I think he got injured halfway through the year. And, but he was a solid, tackling kind of interior linebacker, tackling kind of guy in there. But I'll explain why. I mean, some people are like, let's go grab him. The two sides with the Dolphins and Jerome Baker discussed a restructured contract, but they cannot reach an agreement. The Dolphins left the door open for him to come back if he does choose so. But he played 6 seasons in Miami. He has 587 tackles. I mean, that's 3. And he also had 3 years with over 100 tackles, 22.5 sacks, 31 tackles for loss, 46 quarterback hits, and 5 interceptions. Now, a lot of people are saying he may be a guy that can come to Dallas. We need linebacker help. So My belief is that he is a little bit too much like Damone Clark.
Okay.
Already, we got a guy like Jerome Baker. His name is Damone Clark. So I think we're okay with that, with this specific type of linebacker. But the possibilities is he would go follow Vic Fangio, right? He went to the Eagles, or Flores to the Vikings. Those are two options for him that kind of, to me, are more realistic than the Cowboys. But again, in case you're wondering why Jerome Baker, the guy right here, number 55 in the Dolphins uniform there, why I say no to him as a linebacker free agent option here, a new one, right, released today. He's not an off-ball linebacker. He's more of a kind of I don't want to say a blitzing linebacker, but he's not. He's a Damone Clark type of guy. This is a support, a run support type of guy, not a run stop type of guy. So Jerome Baker, although he has a lot of tackles, we can do better than him, and I'll tell you who in a minute here, because without question, the guy I would put in front of everybody else is the other guy in this picture. And baby, this is a guy we've been talking about for a long time, maybe making a trade for him. Former Viking. Now he's a former Los Angeles Charger, almost San Diego Charger, Eric Kendricks at linebacker. Now this guy knows Mike Zimmer very well. I'll explain in a minute. But this guy here was released. Eric Kendricks was a guy that I've been talking about for about a month. Or not a month, but for about 3 weeks? Since Zimmer took over, middle of February, I said this is a guy that would help the Cowboys, not just at linebacker and stopping the run, but also would help the Cowboys in the scheme fit for what Zimmer's bringing. Somebody already knows Zimmer's scheme, and somebody who's a veteran in that room. We don't have any veterans at linebacker. So to me, number 6 from the Chargers, he's the guy I'm looking at to pick up Eric Kendricks, linebacker. It makes a ton of sense for the Cowboys. Now, we got to remember, from the days of the Vikings, when he was at his best, those days are gone. All right, he's not that guy anymore. He's not the guy that was under Mike Zimmer. But Zimmer loved him, and he played well under Zimmer's tutelage and his scheme. He played the first 7 years of his career with Mike Zimmer and his defense, and now he's 32 years old, but still could fit into a perfect market that the Cowboys and the front office are comfortable with. It sounds like to me the Cowboys will land Eric Kendricks without much of an issue, unless, well, you know who's coming, that clown show. Unless the clown show comes out with hey, let me, how about we give you a minimum veteran minimum salary? How about that? How about we give you the league minimum, and we'll be happy to have you in Dallas, because the star on your helmet, that's what the Joneses are going to do. That's the only way they can fuck this up.
Feel grateful for it.
Yeah, they wouldn't. That's the only way this could be fucked up, in my opinion, because I think Mike Zimmer is going to get Eric Kendricks here and be perfect fit.
Now, Micah's not as asking, does Kendricks even want to play for Zimmer? Like, is that connection still good?
They've always had a great connection.
Okay, great.
So that's a great news. Kendricks liked Zimmer's scheme, played well in that scheme, played his best games with Zimmer. Of course he wants to come back to Zimmer.
All right.
Brandon J. dropping in with that $2 holler.
Thank you, Brandon J. Appreciate you. He's predicting that with the 32nd pick, the Chiefs will pick receiver Xavier Worthy from Texas.
That's a bit early, don't you think, for that? But hey. As far as
they're looking for offensive weapons to help Mahomes.
Yeah, the speed guy gets all the looks. The guy's 165. He might get hit once and cracked in half. If they take him that early, I don't know. I think that's a bad pick, in my opinion. But hey, you know what I don't care about? The Chiefs. Sorry, Brandon. I'm a Cowboy fan, so Chiefs can pick whoever the hell they want, as long as they usually will not mess up our draft, because they pick 32nd, right?
Exactly.
So we pick 24th. So we're in front of them. If they get Xavier Worthy, good for them. We don't care much. I don't care about the Chiefs. And if they get Xavier Worthy, let's see if he lasts.
By the way,
ain't that
saying
much.
Kendricks, I'm guessing, would be filthy nasty with this defensive scheme. Come on, Stephen Jones. Thomas Garrett said, I like Kendricks going back to his college days at UCLA.
Yep. So let me explain something real quick. He appeared in 15 games last year with the Chargers. 15 games, 14 of those games were starters. He started 14 of the 17 games. He only was in 15. I guess he was injured for 2. But he played in 15, started in 14 of them. He had, in those 14 games total, 117 tackles. To play limited, in a season like that, not a full. That's pretty good. 117 total tackles. He had 7 tackles for loss. He had 6 passes defensed, which means like knocked down.
Yeah.
3.5 sacks last year in 2023 as a linebacker, not in a Zimmer system. And in Zimmer's system, he's much better. The Cowboys could more than use that specific production, even from the Chargers last year. This 117 tackles and 14 starts, 3.5 sacks, passes knocked down, tackles for loss from a linebacker who's a run stopper, off-ball linebacker. This guy, not Jerome Baker. You want Eric Kendricks with the Cowboys. Kendricks, if he comes to Dallas, let me tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
He gets the green dot on that helmet.
Wow, like that.
Yeah,
I guess it's.
I'm telling you what's going to happen.
I guess it's a Zimmer defense, so there's no real measure of like quickly or not. Like everyone's coming into this new, so
except
as far as the defense under Zimmer.
Except for Kendricks, right?
True.
He would be the only guy that really knows what's going on. He's a linebacker already anyway, so usually they get the green dots.
Yeah, might be some language change, but overall, a lot of the scheme things, or at least some of the core things, I imagine are going to be very similar.
You got to remember, he'll come to Dallas. If he comes to Dallas, he will be the leader at the on the linebacking core. And really, another veteran leader on defense, which is kind of needed, I think. You have a guy that can run the defense, and the scheme knows it already. Will be wearing the green dot. Will be communicating with Zimmer. That's what that means, in case you guys didn't know. The green dot communicates you with the defensive coach. And so, to me, this is a perfect fit. You know what else is perfect about this, baby? Again, that's why I said not even the clown show should be able to fuck this up. The reason I say that is because we know how much Stephen Jones loves his comp picks. The fact that, number one, we don't have to trade for him now. Number two, he didn't play out his contract, because you play out the contract, you sign him, you got to give up comp picks. Not us, but we get comp picks taken away from us. So by him being released before the new league year, that makes it so that, I mean, he was still on a contract, so it wouldn't make a difference then or now. It just means he could be signed earlier. He could be signed tomorrow if he wanted to, instead of waiting till the 13th. But the fact that he is, released from his contract, there are no comp picks taken away from the Cowboys if we sign him. There's no compensation stuff. Plus, he's 32 years old. Plus, he's not what he used to be. He's still good, but he's not what. Plus, he's a perfect fit for our defense. So if this guy, Stephen Jones, wants to go for a cheap linebacker that fits the scheme and is a veteran leader on defense, don't look any farther. And the guy that matches up fantastic with Mike Zimmer's defense, and that's Eric Kendricks, formerly of the Chargers and the Vikings. Come on now. So, again, a released player doesn't impact the formula. Kendricks was released today. He's a free agent now. Go and do your goddamn due diligence and sign this guy for Mike Zimmer, for this defense. And again, all these reasons, like I said, leadership. He can cover a little. He covers okay. He's not a bad coverage guy. You're gonna have guys like Overshown. You're gonna have guys like Damone Clark and Marquise Bell maybe helping out sometimes. So you're gonna have all the help you need there with a couple other kind of linebackers. You'll probably draft one, but Kendricks is the guy that will be the leader this year at that linebacker spot. And of course, you also have MICAH in the mix there as a I was just about to say, I can't linebacker.
See us being any less aggressive than we have been the last handful of years. So free agent and draft and basically anything else we can throw at that position, absolutely, especially with Zimmer here to kind of maybe push some of those, I'm just saying, if he, in the sense of, maybe he wants a more linebacker-focused defensive scheme, so, he can make an argument for, hey, we need even more help at linebacker, you know what I mean? So maybe we do get an extra guy.
But see, even a rookie coming in here, or a guy from another team, it's not the same thing as Eric Kendricks. And the reason is because he matches...
I'm just trying to say that, even he would be absolutely a cornerstone for what we're trying to do there. He would still need some additional help, and that's my point. Zimmer would make a great case for, hey, Hendricks is not Kendricks. Kendricks. Sorry, it's because I'm reading the chat. Lots of typos, unfortunately, of Hendricks. But my point is that Kendricks would be like I said, Zimmer would make a great case for Kendricks is not the only piece that we would need at that position.
Yeah, but. I get you, but Kendricks would be a fantastic start to this thing, and he would get at least the linebacking core veteran, experience, knowledge with the scheme, knowledge with the coach, and kind of get the guys in together. You know what I mean? Get things going.
Good. Sorry, and all good, Seabass. Like I said, I was literally reading your comment. That's why I said it again. I'm like, crap. So, but all good. Trust me, phones are dumb. But Zach Delusion also even said, Kendricks will help the players learn Zimmer's scheme and get them lined up.
Exactly.
So he can help that progress.
Exactly. When you have that green dot, he's the one lining up the players. He's pushing, get here, go there, shift there, move here. I trust Kendrick. I don't trust LVE. He's not going to be there. I'm saying I don't trust Overshown or MICAH or any of these guys in the new scheme. Only reason I trust Kendrick, now you're making me say it, the reason I trust Kendricks is because of Zimmer. Simple and plain. Zimmer's the only reason why. And let me say something about Kendricks. Eric Kendricks is a guy that also plays on the interior A-gap area. So if you have him with MICAH in the middle, you don't know who's fucking blitzing or not. You coming off the linebacker, but coming on the line of scrimmage, you have, you're worrying the inside gap there, the A gap, and the center and guard and quarterback. They're fucking freaking. They don't know if it's going to be Kendricks, who knows this scheme very well, can cover, can drop back, and can blitz, or MICAH, who you got to obviously always watch. So that would be a 1-2 punch with that third down A gap blitz that Zimmer uses. It'd be fantastic with both these guys there. And then, of course, I think MICAH will be on the edge most of the time. But I think that this would be a great pickup for the Cowboys. I'm not worried about Jerome Baker or Jamal Adams. Fuck all those guys. We don't need those guys. But we do need someone like Eric Kendricks, in my humble opinion. So, that... Any other comments on this, maybe, before we keep it moving? Because nothing is set in stone. But if anything's been something, I guess you could say, be an easy, 1 + 1 = 2 is get Eric Kendricks on this team from Mike Zimmer in this new scheme. Let's rhyme it.
Right? MB, what's up? Traveling Fools in the house, much love. Thomas Garrett agreeing. Kendricks can lead and guide these young linebackers we have. So, honestly, it feels like we're just investing in ourselves by getting Kendricks as well, because hey, regardless of whatever happens next year, whatever we want to do, we have, I'm just saying, we have 1 or 2 young linebackers that could really benefit from
his, even if he's here 1 year.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, regardless of whatever happens after this upcoming season, these other guys are definitely here because they're still contractually obligated and beneath the Cowboys.
Think of Tyler Smith with Peters, with Tyron Smith,
so with
Overshown and guys like Damone Clark. These are still very young guys. Even some Marquise Bell, if he plays there anymore.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, it would behoove the Cowboys. It was somehow, Kendricks just seems to make so much sense, right? But if it's not Kendricks, it's got to be someone for that reason, in the sense of, like, a more experienced veteran linebacker that can, maybe go in there and obviously help. Like you said, the thing that Kendricks does do over other guys, besides, like, his quality play for a decent price, is the fact that he already knows Zimmer's scheme. So
that's the key.
It's like we're saving so much time.
If you bring in Jerome Baker, he'll be great, but he's not going to be as good as maybe Kendricks, especially from the beginning, because he's got to get the scheme down too. Forget our own guys and a new guy from another team that don't know Zimmer. Mm-hmm. You're getting a guy who's been running Zimmer's scheme for 7 fucking years. And that's what we're doing here. So to me, you got to get this done. The Joneses. This is not something that I'm like saying, oh, what a great thing would happen. Like, what a dream it would be. This is like common sense.
Must-do at
this
is point.
Common fucking sense. Agree. A must-do is a great way to say it.
The Jesters will fuck the linebacker situation. I'm really hoping they don't, because that was obviously a big key reason for, lots of reasons, but a key reason on the defensive side of things of why we fell short when we... Linebackers, stopping that run off ball linebackers were awful. We didn't have many. So anyways, this year, Zimmer... We'll see what happens. But, hey, just saying, could be on the horizon if the clown show gets their shit together. For Mike Zimmer, bring them Eric Kendricks, and let's get this, this. Again, we know we're not going to sign in big, huge name players. This is a perfect guy. That's right there, and this a $3 million guy. Come on. Joneses. Stop giving me some shit that you can't do it. The cap. Fuck it. That's cap, if they say that shit. Now, done with Zimmer and his pieces there. These are some guys that are available, but there's some guys out there that are getting tagged. Now, the first guy you might think of, today was a tag deadline. Was Pollard tagged? Well, we'll get into that in a minute. But before we get to tags, there was a signing of a former Cowboy, Dalton Schultz. The Texans, Houston Texans, before allowing him to hit any kind of free agency or letting him get to the second year of his contract with them, agreed to terms on a deal that keeps Dalton Schultz in Houston. He gets a 3-year, $36 million new contract, with $23.5 million of that fully guaranteed at the signing. He's a key weapon for C.J. Stroud. They wanted to keep that going, keep that flowing. I was going to say, good for him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
Especially since he's in the AFC, good for him.
Yeah, and that's $12 million a year. So that's about what the Cowboys paid before he should have been given that money. So Cowboys always overpaying years in advance. Mm-hmm. Now other teams said, you know what? Tony Pollard, we know he's not getting that. We know he's not getting that franchise tag, but other teams did put their franchise tag on players. The Colts, and some of these guys are guys we talked about. If they were not tagged, could be possible Cowboy players in the future, right? In free agency. The Colts. We'll start an offense. This is one guy really. Wide receiver, Michael Pittman Jr. He was a guy mentioned that maybe can check out what the Cowboys are going to bring. Well, He got tagged by the Colts. You know what he would have brought? Over $21 million. And that's now he would be in Dallas. So the
Definitely
tag
priced himself out of our range.
Yeah, the tag is worth $21.816 million for receivers. So they're trying to work out a long-term deal, and those talks will continue. It's like a placeholder right now.
I was going to say, it sounds like a smart move there by the Colts.
If they want to keep him that bad, then they're doing the right thing. The Jaguars, they're placing their franchise tag on their top pass rusher, Josh Allen. Not the quarterback from Buffalo, the pass rusher for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's on the books now officially for $24 million. It's not a surprise, but they want to get a long-term deal done, another kind of placeholder for now. The Panthers, they officially place a tag on their star edge pass rusher, Brian Burns, one of the more underrated pass rushers in the league. His tag number is also $24 million, just like Josh Allen at edge. You see, edge is $24 million there. But now about defensive tackle, the Ravens have officially franchise tagged a guy I really liked. It would have been too much for us, for sure. Defensive tackle Justin Madubuike. This guy, had a breakout season last year. He's locked in with the Ravens for $22.1 million. Both sides are also trying to discuss a long-term deal. So none of these guys are getting franchise tagged to stay on the tag. All these guys are getting franchise tagged to, hopefully, for these teams,
they're
get them signed to a long-term
deal placeholders.
Right.
So we're definitely seeing the franchise tag, I think, trending overall in a slightly different way, right? Like, the Cowboys are actually one of the few exceptions in the sense of, like, we just tagged a player and then that's it, we're moving on type of thing. So
well, we do that with that's what kind of I'm gonna explain that in a minute because we're gonna pull that tag at the last second. Well, the Bears, they're going after a guy that we loved here. I know we weren't going to afford him. The Bears placed their franchise tag on cornerback Jalen Johnson. Now, you remember him. He's a guy we really, really liked in this team. We talked about him being an option. He's not an option anymore. He's on a tag now. And that tag number is $19.8 million. So you see what these numbers are at for a tagged good player? They're high. For the low baseline, it's high. So Buccaneers officially are placing their franchise tag on safety Antoine Winfield Jr., another guy we were saying, well, we could get him here. Guys, a placeholder for him as well. He's a little less than $19 million. So, again, a lot of big-name guys getting tagged, and almost all of them are here to get a long-term deal done. Of course, not all of them will get a long-term deal done. Some of them will play on the tag, on the one-year tag deal. Only one guy got a transition tag, transition player, and that is the Patriots. They placed the transition free agent tag, the transition tag on their free agent, safety, Kyle Duggar. They're keeping him off the market and giving him a chance to match offers. So basically, if somebody really wants him, they would, make him an offer that it could be refused by the team if they give him a better offer. So it's kind of letting him try to test the free agency market and then see if he gets, if someone really wants him that bad, will they take those draft picks or will they take, or will they try to make a move back for Kyle Duggar? So that's it, guys. The official list of franchise, again, there's one transition player, Kyle Duggar, safety from the Patriots. And these are the other guys that are officially franchise tagged. The Ravens, Justin Madubuike. Panthers, Brian Burns. Bears, Jalen Johnson. The Bengals already had tagged their receiver, T. Higgins, a week ago or so. The Colts, Michael Pittman Jr. Jacksonville Jaguars, Josh Allen. The Chiefs already had tagged L'Jarius Sneed yesterday. They're trying to trade him. And Tampa Bay Buccaneer safety Antoine Winfield. So that's the franchise tag list. As you can see, there's some names off that list, one of them being from the Dallas Cowboys. But the Giants, they're not franchise tagging Saquon Barkley. So he's one of the top free agents in a very good and very deep running back class, free agent class. So Barkley's going to join guys like Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, among other running backs. Probably the best class of running backs in free agent history. Think about that. So
what a shame it's coming in the year 2024.
The good thing about it is this is the year we have no running backs. So there's no excuse for the front office to not fill that spot with someone out there when it comes to actually talent, not just best deals, but talent. And you don't have to overspend either. You have to spend 10 and 12 million. You can spend 6 or 7 and get one of the best guys on the market right now. So that's what the Giants decided to do. There also another guy who the Giants did not tag was their safety, who's, again, a lot of people look for safeties, Xavier McKinney. He's now going to be a free agent. They didn't use a franchise tag or transition tag, which was the initial thought. So he will be a free agent as well. The players that were not tagged today, And now scheduled to become free agents in a week from now, Chris Jones from Kansas City. Big money, get your minds off of him. Christian Wilkins also from the Dolphins, also get your minds off of him. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Michael Onwenu. We got Baker Mayfield, maybe trying to stay with Tampa, we'll see. Calvin Ridley, Xavier McKinney, and of course, Tony Pollard. Of many other players that are going to be free agents from this non-tag day here where the tag went by. So again, the Cowboys officially today, we knew it became official, but we had assumed, we had heard already the Cowboys were not going to use the franchise tag or transition tag on Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
So he's heading for free agency next week. The deadline to use the franchise or transition tag has officially passed today. The Cowboys, of course, did not exercise the option, not just on Pollard, but on anyone on this team, right? There was really no strong candidates, according to the front office.
Which again, we kind of already knew / suspected, but good to have it obviously officially confirmed now that we know. As
far as the conversations at the Star, there were not many conversations about who would use the tag, who would be the tagged player or not. They didn't talk about it because there was nobody to tag. That's the point. Not surprising, the Cowboys are not using this tag on a player, though, for the first time since 2017. First time we haven't used a franchise tag. We used it on Pollard last year, Schultz the year before that, Dak in 2020 and 2021, DeMarcus Lawrence in 2019 and 2018. So 2017 was the last time that we did not use a tag.
That's a little crazy to think about. It's been that long.
And now Pollard, he's bye-bye, at least for now. Although I'll say one thing. Actually, let me keep that with Pollard in the house here before he's gone completely. But first, we got the Man Skeptical Fan dropping another gifted membership. He's making it 4. Now, he's got 4 on it. And still in the lead.
That's right.
In first place. Who was the gift? Was that Scorpio I saw jump up there?
Yes, it is. So congrats to you, Scorpio. I appreciate you again, Skeptical Fan. Guys, drop them if you got them. Drop the love and show the love. You guys
emojis,
know.
If you're in the navy blue or above.
So, and as Mr. MCF finishes updating the board, I'll take this as a little baby commercial break to remind everyone to hit like on the stream. Super easy, simple way to make sure you help support the channel here. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Our Discord as well. You guys can hop in there. Link for that's always in the description box down below.
Yeah. And by the way, with that drop, of course, he's got 4 gifted memberships. You know what that also means? He's right behind. I'm talking about a couple behind. One behind, really. 1 or 2 behind McLovin for first place on the overall board.
Well, there you go.
Early in the week, but Skeptical Fan is right there at the top of it. Appreciate you, brother. Now, the last thing I want to say about Tony Pollard before we move on, even though he was not tagged, this kind of dropped in late tonight, but it sounds like the Cowboys are not giving up on Pollard. Yeah, because NBC Sports' Matthew Berry today learned, coming out of the combine, that Tony Pollard is he said there's a likely landing spot for Tony Pollard. He said, quote, "I'm told a likely landing spot for Tony Pollard is Dallas." He said, apparently the Cowboys want to bring him back despite all of us thinking he had a down year. He wasn't fully healthy for a lot of the year, but they like him a lot, and I was told, quote, "Don't be surprised if they bring Pollard back."
All right, okay. There's so many different factors here, right? But let's go ahead and address the biggest one, which is the money situation, right? I don't want to put a specific number to it. Just in general, Pollard would obviously have to agree to whatever the Cowboys offer him, right?
Well, if he wants to stay here, right?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
It means the market got to be bad for him.
That's what I'm saying. We're working under that assumption, right? That the Cowboys are wanting him back, right? Are willing to take him back, and not only that, but then obviously send him an offer. So 1, Pollard has to accept, right? And 2, the Cowboys are obviously, just based off of the little bit of information we know, Pollard is not going to be coming back as our RB1. Right? He's probably going to come back and have more of a Pollard-esque role like he did back when Zeke was with us. Now,
good point.
Now, I'm not saying he's going to exactly do that. I'm just saying that expect his usage rate to obviously match,
pay.
Not just the pay, but like I said, more like when Zeke was here, which was, more like 80-20, 70-30 on a good day.
I disagree with that because I think
that on a good day.
No, I know, but I think that it'll be a little bit more for him now than I think it'll be like 40-60. Like it's not gonna be like Zeke will be better than Zeke, but it won't be like last year.
As of now, I don't know, just because
it's a guess.
If McCarthy is still the same one fully running our offense, I'm not sure if I'd hold.
Well, that's why I see Seabass saying 1 and 2. Like that's what I'm talking. That would be great. That would be.
Derrick Henry is our number 1 and Pollard's our number 2 means we're spending hopefully less than.
Well, I'm looking at probably around, again, if you look at this in a realistic way, you're looking around $8 million.
I was just about to say, you're spending less than $10 million on the entire running back position if you include, the cheaper
even
Rico,
guys. Even Rico, you can still get him under 10.
Exactly, or a rookie. My point is that, but you're now, like, that position is now just,
stacked.
You're stacked. You are stacked.
Yeah. So, again, we don't know what the Cowboys are planning to do, if it's going to be Henry and Pollard. They might go with a rookie who's a hard runner, and Pollard as the number 2. You know what I'm saying? So, but the front office gave the reins to Pollard last season, believing him to be a number 1 running back, and now a full year removed from that, from the injury, and kind of seeing him get better at the end of the year. Yeah. Right? He definitely got better. So the Cowboys might try to sneakily re-sign him. And listen, you know what the front office wants to do? Here's my issue. The front office wants to get their guys and say, look, we proved the doubters wrong. Tony Pollard proved the doubters wrong. So I hate to say ego is not, is going to be involved in this. And I'm talking about not Pollard's ego, but the Joneses' ego to try to say we did the right move. Yeah. That's the only thing that bothers me if they pull a Gallup kind of deal here. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that, Pollard can help us, but we know it can't be just Pollard. So Pollard with Henry or Henry with somebody else. So we have a lot of different names and options out there. This is the most deep we ever had, the running back free agent, free agency period for running backs. This is the most stacked it's been. Even if you get one guy and you get a running back in the draft, we should be good enough to go, in my opinion. Yeah. We don't have to spend $8, $10, $12 million on running backs in free agency. That's also too much for a running back. But wherever it's important for, that's the situation with the Cowboys and Pollard and what their plan is going forward. So, I don't know if anybody has any other thoughts in the chat about this particular thing as we move on to more.
Now, the Reaper said, I heard that Dallas only wants Pollard back and they aren't looking into Henry at all, but that's just the word around here.
Again, that's why I'm stressing. There is no word that the Cowboys are looking at Henry. 0.0. He's working out in Dallas. It don't mean crap. So Pollard is the only one we've heard that he had some liking for, but let's also be honest. Cowboys only spoke to his agent. And of course, the only guy they spoke to as far as running backs right now is Pollard. So it's hard to know who they're going to plan for going forward. If it's not Pollard, who is the next guy on their list? And if it is Pollard, are they getting anybody else? Maybe a lower level running back that can be a bruiser for us. I think that the draft is where we're going to go. I think we're going to go one free agent at least. One good free agent, one solid free agent. I don't mean a Saquon Barkley. I mean a solid, Derrick Henry or less, A.J. Dillon or something like this. You can get A.J. Dillon and Pollard for $6 million. That's a good 1-2 punch. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying there's different ways of setting this up. I don't really care who the person is. I just want to make sure we have the right player types to fit these running back spots. And of course, I'm assuming the Cowboys will probably go 4th round on a running back or something. That's kind of where they're pinpointing their pick. 3rd or 4th round for running back at most, at best. So it really comes down to, I think, to me, free agency. Anyways, chat.
Let me see. Steve, I said Henry's 30-something, not bidding for shit.
Yeah, he's 30. He's not going to get that. Under $4.5 million is the number on him.
Bad Intention says Stephen Jones is not going to spend the money. It wouldn't surprise me if the man still uses coupons at the market.
For some reason, I agree. It wouldn't surprise me if he did that.
So Rolando Rodriguez saying MCF brings Zeke back. They're still paying him $6 million on the cap. LOL. Cowboys clown show. Now I'm guessing that just based on the way that you typed that with the emoji and stuff that was sarcastic and that was a joke. That was really funny, Rolando. Just saying. So Steve, I want to say that was a joke from Rolando Rodriguez because I know him. I don't know if he would. Say that in a more serious way.
We are paying him $6 million dead money this year, so it's funny like that. Zeke, it's not in the
sense of might as well bring him back and get something out of that. Again,
remember, exactly. But remember, we're not paying him like the cash. That's just the cap money. He's already got his money from the Cowboys. That's just what we're paying on the cap for dead money for pushing money forward all those years of those big contracts. The big contract money, and then pushing it forward. All that dead money. That's what we got to pay the piper now. $6 million dead money. Yeah, it sucks, but I can't look at it that way. Although when you look at the running back, room right now, yeah, he's our highest paid running back, Ezekiel Elliott, for this year.
So now, with that said, I think let me hit up one or two more comments to kind of hand things back off to you, baby. Mike Atlanta says only way Zeke comes back is on a 1-day contract, like for
to retire. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, Zeke the Freak is obsolete.
Yeah. So as we keep it rolling here, let me get to kind of an interesting comment about our defense and talking about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn spoke at the Combine, and it's again kind of throwing this in there again. Actually, it wasn't at the Combine. He spoke to Pro Football Talk, and being the former Dallas Cowboy defensive coordinator, he said he kind of spoke on Pardon My Take. He spoke with the players and texted. Basically, he texted his Cowboy players upon getting this job with the Commanders, thanked them for putting him in the position to be able to get this opportunity to be a head coach again. And so, again, Pro Football Talk, through Pardon My Take, asked them, have you been in touch with your players on Dallas to be like, hey, I look forward to kicking your ass twice a year? What did Dan Quinn have to say about that?
He said, quote, "When I left, I texted him before I took the job just to say, man, like, a big piece of why I got this job is because of you guys. And so, like, I wanted to make sure I shared that gratitude with them because, like, I wouldn't have been in this spot to have chances had it not been for them. Like, I chose to go back to Dallas because of them as well that previous season. And so I wanted to go fight for that and see where we could take it. It didn't work out at the end, but I did want to show my gratitude for them. There's some good dudes that I'll be connected with for life on that. I love that part of the game and those relationships. Wherever it was, there's still people on every team that I keep up with, and there'll be a lot from this one as well."
And the main guy he's going to be keeping up is Micah Parsons, because they both came into the Cowboys together, right? So, I mean, that's just, so, again, he just gave his 2 cents there on his connection with some of the Cowboy defensive players. So, moving into that direction, I just wanted to give you that little clip of Dan Quinn. But Micah Parsons is in the news today. I know this also came out kind of later into the evening, and I didn't put him on my little thumbnail. But Micah Parsons today is getting placed on that 5th-year option, which every first-round pick gets. After your 3 years, you the Cowboys or the team that drafted you has to make a decision to give you that 5th-year option or not. And so here's what happens. Of course, the Cowboys said yes, hell yes, we're going to get that 5th-year option on Micah Parsons. And I'll tell you the money in a minute, but the bigger thing was, what was he going to be tagged as? Linebacker, edge rusher. And that's a big difference here, right? So the Cowboys ended up placing the tag on Micah Parsons as a defensive edge rusher.
Okay.
Not a linebacker.
So what does that mean specifically for his tag and also for the contract or things like that?
The salary difference in the 5th-year option is for the position is $2.7 million.
Okay.
But not the way you think it is. It's $2.7 million less to give the 5th-year option to a defensive edge rusher than a linebacker. Yeah. Actually, if we had put him as linebacker, he would have got paid.
Pay him more?
We would have had to pay $2.7 million more next year if he plays on that 5th-year option. Right now, Parsons is receiving his 5th-year option at the defensive edge spot, not linebacker, which is interesting. The Cowboys are, giving him that position, which I believe he plays the most in. I think we all can say that in his 3 years so far. But they didn't put linebacker. We know is going to be more. It's a better for the Cowboys to put on linebacker when it comes to getting tagged, because linebackers don't get tagged for as much as edge rushers. But when it comes to 5th-year options, it's the reverse. I don't know. I don't get it. But 5th-year options for rookies, linebackers, get $2.7 million more than edge rushers. Incredible to me. So
definitely a little bit weird, but obviously we're not, we don't make those types of rules.
I wonder if here's my question. That answers a question. He's an edge rusher right now, but the Cowboys, are they cheaping out, or are they putting him at the spot where he's going to really be at? So when I look at this, Micah again getting this 5th-year option, not tag, 5th-year option as a defensive edge rusher, not linebacker. As a linebacker, Micah would have earned a little over $24 million next year. But as an edge rusher, he's going to be at $21.32 million. So, again, $2.7 million less to be an edge rusher on the 5th-year option than a linebacker on their 5th-year option. And again, as you guys know, for any first-round pick, a team can add that 5th year to their contract, if they want to, right? And after the 3rd year that they play, on any first-round pick, three seasons into the deal. This is the first time Micah Parsons' position has had any bearing on his compensation. The first time in his career. So this is the beginning of the road.
I was just about to say, I'm like, there's no more ifs, ands, or buts. You know, if the Cowboys are, putting this 5th-year option and they're labeling him, the team, as an edge rusher, that's going to be hard to walk around if the Cowboys feel like calling Micah, any other position.
Right.
Just throwing that out there.
If they want to tag him or pay him as a linebacker, that'd be that's going cheap if you're the Joneses. They were just going cheap. If you're gonna tag him as an edge rusher, then you're following the path that they're setting in motion. The Joneses are setting in motion, not Micah. So right now, Micah would get, again, I don't think Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones might say, well, you're getting 21.32, and you would have had 24 the other way. So we're starting at a lower number. Maybe that's what they're thinking. That's stupid. Because Micah's going to want the bigger number, and he deserves it. So what I'm trying to say is this. The Cowboys are, of course, hoping to sign Micah to a long-term extension within this offseason, the next offseason. So once the deal is done, no matter what position he plays, the deal is expected to make him the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history for Micah Parsons. So that's the part that really doesn't matter. That's why this doesn't really matter too much, because no matter where they put him, he's going to be paid number one money in the entire NFL when it comes to defensive players. So the position doesn't really matter. It's more of, hey, let's put him at where he's going to get paid at anyways, and let's save one. I'm not even saying they're going to save money, but we could save $2.7 million. You also can make a deal before that time comes, and guess what? You don't even get to that point. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But the point is, the deal is going to make him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. But if the extension doesn't come by mid-April of next year, then he may have to discuss on whether or not you're going to sit out, you're going to go to practice, and that could be a whole issue next offseason if the Cowboys don't sign him to a long-term extension. But the bigger thing is again, with the positioning stuff, the Cowboys chose the position for Micah Parsons that more coincides with the 3-year Pro Bowler and his on-field usage. So, to me, it's the right move. It's the common sense move. But you're setting a precedent going forward. So last year, in 2023, Micah Parsons spent more time on the defensive line's meeting room than the linebacker meeting room. So most of his time was spent. I'm talking about on the field. I'm talking about at the Star, in practice, in the rooms where he's studying. Most of his time was with the edge rusher, with the defensive line, not the linebackers. And he played 87.8% of almost 88% of Micah's regular season snaps. He took those snaps on the line of scrimmage in 2023. So again, 88% of the time he was playing edge rusher, and the Cowboys are paying him as such, as far as the 5th-year option is concerned. When you look at,
to me, like I said, matches up, lines up.
With what he does, right? Look, I can show you even more proof. Per his career snap count at the line of scrimmage, 801 snaps. Off ball linebacker, 109. So basically 700 times more, I guess you could say. I guess 7 times more that he has playing on the line of scrimmage than he is off ball, and that's in his career. So that's how that plays into the 5th-year option. The Cowboys save almost $3 million, but now this is what you were saying, baby. Now this is where I don't know if it's clown show or do they even care, because he's getting paid the most anyways. But this is where right now you're saving almost $3 million, but we've officially labeled him, as you said, an edge rusher. Mm-hmm. That is it. He's an edge rusher. I don't want to hear nobody in the chat or anybody bitching or complaining when Micah says, I want to be paid edge rusher. The Joneses made him an edge rusher today, officially on paper. He's listed as a linebacker, on the Cowboy roster, he's an edge rusher as a 5th-year option, and he's going to be an edge rusher. That his agent, who's I think Derwin James' agent, who did the same kind of sitting out kind of situation. I think he also is Mulgada. I think he's Tank's agent. The point is, this will be something where now the Joneses have set this precedent in motion. When it comes time for an extension, forget about a tag. When it comes time for an extension, the Joneses cannot say, "Well, you're going to be the highest paid linebacker."
Yeah,
that's not. They just made him an edge. They just made him an edge rusher. You guys say you're going to be the highest paid player.
You can't really just like walk that back.
Yeah,
right.
So,
like it's maybe in a verbal way they can try to walk it back, but guess what? If they sign on the dotted line and next to Micah's name they put defensive edge rusher, like guess what he has to be.
Well,
like I'm just saying, it's gonna be very hard for the Cowboys in any kind of way to like sit there and try to get around classifying him as anything.
And now that you have edge rusher from the Cowboys, now that you have 7 times more in his career he's played on the defensive line.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all these are things that are facts, stats, and now the Cowboy front office themselves are saying he's an edge rusher. Forget about him getting linebacker money, guys. That ain't happening. He's going to get that big money. And overall, I'm talking about, 5th-year option, linebackers get more money than edge rushers. But every single other place, edge rushers get more. I'm talking about tags. I'm talking about just overall contracts. Edge rushers get a lot more. And that's what the Cowboys just did. They set in motion MICAH, the edge rusher. That's it. Whether he, we're going to see him there probably most of the time anyways. But like I said, though, baby, I'm going to say it again. Does it even matter? The Cowboys really want to keep MICAH here. They're going to make him the highest paid defensive player, not edge rusher or linebacker, the highest paid defensive player in the NFL history, actually. So does it really matter what he's labeled? I mean, can the clown show fuck this up too? I don't know if you can.
I mean, they're probably going to try.
But to me, it does speak to how these designations are all messed up, right? Edge rushers get paid less in the 5th-year option than linebackers, but it doesn't really matter. He's going to go where he's going to get paid as the most, right? And if Micah Parsons, agent is compelled to, to go into the whole position designation thing, could prompt a dispute between Micah and the Cowboy front office and team. So, again, it'd be smart for the front office to either say, hey, either saying we're done with him after his 5th year, or, I guess they can tag him after that and just keep tagging him. But now he's going to be tagged as an edge rusher. And the players' union and the NFL are going to have to agree with that because the Joneses themselves agree that he's an edge rusher. He's set in stone as an edge rusher as far as compensation, pay. I don't care where he plays. But he's now an edge rusher in my mind. I don't care what the Cowboys list him as. He's getting paid as an edge rusher. That's that. Not linebacker. Now, speaking of linebacker, baby, I know there's a guy floating around. First of all, I want to know what the chat quickly said about it. A couple of quick comments about Micah. And then we're going to talk about another linebacker that we haven't seen in a regular season snap this past year, but we're going to see him hopefully this year at linebacker.
So Bad Intentions said, the Cowboys are playing with Micah. Pay that man his money. In my John Malkovich voice, and I apologize because
his money.
I was gonna say I can't do that. I'll
his
let Mr. MCF do his.
His money. No, that's a great movie. Yes.
Agree. Bad Intention. As Modi is saying, they've heard the talk about Parsons in Philly. True or false? They are taking no chances. So, hey, there's taking no chances, and then there's taking no chances. So we'll have to see where exactly that falls with the Micah move. For me personally, I think this is a positive move and a step in the right direction. Like you said, there's just so many different ways that they can pivot away from this correct decision, right? Let's be real. Even if the Cowboys classify him as linebacker or whatever, that would feel extremely unfair to Micah Parsons. It might be better for the team or whatever, but even I admit, I'm sorry, this man has been providing services for you the last however many years.
The issue
at defensive edge.
But the issue here,
sit there and try to get cute and pay him as a linebacker.
Right now, the Cowboys are paying him as an edge, which is what he wants. So he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
The thing I'm trying to say,
even if he gets less money now,
right? He got what he wanted.
In the future, he's absolutely going to make more money in the long term.
And even if you put him at linebacker, it doesn't matter. Again, he's going to be the highest paid player. But the Joneses, the only thing I'm trying to say is if the Joneses want to truly sign him, and then next year they say, or they tag him, they say, hey, we're going to tag you as a linebacker. Does he even want to play in Dallas after he gets out of this deal? He'll never come back to Dallas. The Cowboys will be burning bridges if they play games with him. All I got to say is, you can pay him now, pay him now. That's the best thing you can do. Or just franchise tag him in his 6th year, and I guess maybe you can tag up again in his 7th year. You'll never pay as much for him, and then in his 8th year, let him go. You get a huge 3rd-round comp pick. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's the other option from the Joneses. You can hold him here 6-7 years and then let him go for a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah,
and use him up. I don't know.
What's up? Let me see. Burn Bar said facts. Seabass said solidified highest play. Sorry, let me repeat that. Solidified highest paid player.
Defensive player.
Yes.
Defensive player. Not quarterbacks. Receivers. Some.
Kevin Bilbo said pay Dak first. Burn Bar said pay CD first.
You can pay all these guys at the same time. How about that? Let's get them all paid up, and let's get it going forward if you really want to do something. So, listen, I hear you guys. Trust me, I hear you guys. And I just will say this. Don't hold your breath on the front office paying CD, paying MICAH, paying Dak at any reasonable time frame. This front office plays games. It's a clown show for a reason. We're not doing it because we are making fun of them because we love to make fun of our own team. Our own team's giving us fucking problems, and they're the fucking clown show until they prove differently, and I don't think anything's changing for years and years and years. I'm talking about after Jerry. It's Steven, and it's even clownier. Less risky. Less big risk moves. So it's going to be more boring. More boring than it is now. And he's running the show now, Stephen Jones, for the most part. So, any last comment maybe before we move on to another linebacker? On our team?
We kind of touched on most of them here in the chat.
Let's get to it, baby. DeMarvion Overshown. Hell yeah. All right. So at least that's a good name to bring up now because he will be on that field with DeMarcus, with everybody, DeMarcus, but with Micah Parsons and others this 2024 season. Of course, we do know that ACLs, they take a while, right? So,
they do.
With Gallup and that whole situation, we know that could be an issue that can be lingering throughout the season.
If/when he comes back, it's going to take him a little time to acclimate.
Right. So, again, on Tuesday afternoon, guys, in the last stages of his recovery right now, later stages, Overshown, he participated in a fan event at Academy Sports and Outdoors in North Frisco, Texas, where he was able to play backyard games with fans, sign autographs, and more. But despite the trials and tribulations of his first year in the NFL with that injury in the second game of the preseason, his smile was big as it did when he first looked into the star. Remember, guys, this guy was at 7 years old saying, I'm going to play for the Dallas Cowboys. That's my favorite team. That's what I want to play for. So what did he have to say today, baby, at this event? He said a couple things coming back with the Cowboys at that linebacker position where we really have to figure it out, and he's going to be one of the pieces to that. Hasn't played a snap yet for the Cowboys in the regular season. What did Overshown say as far as, this event and what, with the kids that he did at this Academy Sports?
It means the world to me to see the faces on the kids, on the people, for somebody just taking the time to do this, because I knew how much it meant to me when I would go to an event like this. Any chance I get to come out and be in the community, I'm always there for them. Some kid will remember that.
Remember, I just want to remind everybody, I don't know if he had that same experience. He obviously did, but his favorite team was the Dallas Cowboys his entire life. And he said, I'm going to play for the Cowboys when I grow up. He's a Cowboy, so it is an amazing thing. And as you can see, somebody who really bleeds that navy blue and silver and that star, this is one of those guys, and Overshown. Now, he's also, his recovery is still is remaining on schedule. And again, Vice President Stephen Jones spoke last week. He spoke last week about this in Indianapolis. He expects Overshown, along with Trayvon Diggs, to be ready in time for training camp. Not OTAs, that's too early, but training camp in July in Oxnard. What did Overshown say about all of this, his rehab and playing again?
He said, we're pushing right at 6 months out. Everything is going good. We're starting to move around. We're ahead of the curve. It's just a process. This isn't what my rookie year was supposed to be, but you get up and you do it every day.
Remember, guys, he's out there also rehabbing with Trayvon Diggs, who they're getting close and hanging out, which is good to see, of course, at least.
Buddies.
Exactly. They're together on this process. He tore his ACL in September, like a month later. Overshown has been able to rehab with fellow rookies as well, like tight end John Stevens Jr., who got hurt in that same game. And a week later, David Durden also tore his ACL. So everybody here injured, ACLs, Diggs included, all these guys in like a month's frame, all tore that same ACL in their left leg, I think. So they all were working out. At least he had a group of guys working with the same thing. So he had 3 guys working with him. You know what I'm saying? 2 rookies, Trayvon Diggs. But Overshown's a rookie too. So is Diggs really being a leader with these other 3 rookie guys and one of these guys, playing right next to him, right? So, again, and I say right next to him, in the defense with him. The other 2 guys are offense. What else did he say about working out with all these guys?
He said, all those guys, they make it so much easier. It's days when you can find yourself in a dark place. But you get there, and you're laughing and cutting up with those guys and seeing that they're going through the same process. I just see this as a blessing in disguise. It'll make me a better football player, a better teammate, a better man, and all of that in general.
It's great, that he got through this part of things, because now the season's over. He's past the tough part about seeing it fly by him, right? And now the toughest part, I guess, the last tough part is like kind of not just rehabbing, finished rehab, but being confident in that leg and that knee again. That's the big thing to me. So he's going to be in the mix here at linebacker. What else did he say?
You compete. You make everything like a football game. Our jumps, who can do the most on a bench press, who can get the better numbers, making scenarios and competing with the guys, it keeps us happy to go up there. So, and he added in there too, we're more hungry. All of the excitement that was built up in the year, that was built up in year 1 is still there. It's ready to be unleashed on people. The glimpse that y'all got last year, you should expect 10 times more than that. This ACL injury will not be an excuse for anything going into the season at all. I'm going to be ready to play, and fans should expect that.
And I do love his confidence, but I just got to say, we as Cowboy fans, we should know better than just to get all happy about stuff.
Yeah,
and say,
we've
10
heard
times
a few
more
of
than
these
that?
things before, right?
10 times more. We'll wait to see it there, Mr. Overshown, but I get you. I understand what he's saying. At least I like the fact that he's going to be in the mix at linebacker.
So, and he had it in there, it's coming into that room competing. And that's not just me wanting the starting job, because of course we all do. But it's bringing the guys with me in the linebacker room. We're all competing, and that brings our linebacker room to a new level. I bring that competition. It's a newcomer coming in that's hungry for a spot. It forces everybody to want to play better. This ain't no setback in my career. This is me being ready so I can attack the season how I was supposed to last year.
I'm really looking forward to him giving it his all and coming back, in 2024.
I agree.
So I mean, to me, Overshown, still a little bit high on the very lofty expectations on some of these things. Come back 10 times more. How about we just get back and we'll go from there. But I do love him. Again, Damone Clark. You got Overshown. You have Marquise Bell can jump in there and help out sometimes, a pseudo kind of hybrid linebacker. Yeah. And then you have Micah jumping in there as a hybrid linebacker from the edge. And if you bring in Kendricks, you got Damone Clark. You're rolling now. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of rolling the right direction with this linebacking core. I still would love to see a rookie in there for the future. And then we got it set up. And we got Kendricks in the leadership, Micah, a player that can play any position. And then you got the young guys like Overshown. Mm-hmm. You got Bell helping, who had a little practice. Clark, who's like the most, I guess, outside of Micah and Kendricks, would be the most experienced of the group. So it would be a nice step up, I think, an improvement to our linebacking core to get those guys. And again, Overshown, it'd be nice to see him really come through. Now, the last thing, I don't know if anybody has any quick words on Overshown, but we're going to finish.
Bar said, I can't wait still to draft a linebacker, though.
Yeah, exactly. And you heard me just say that. Like, throwing a rookie linebacker in the second or third round, I think we'd be good. If we get Kendricks and a rookie linebacker, Overshown healthy, again, we got to make sure the ACL is good. They come back, they might not be at full blast. The good news is, though, Overshown will not be a full-time linebacker. He'll be a rotational guy, so it still gives him time to get better.
Rotate him in and acclimate him in a different way than we would a full-time starting guy. Like
Michael Gallup thrown in the mix, like that.
As our number 3 receiver was, one of the main starters, at least on our, starting offense.
Yeah, I mean, we ran after the horrible start to the season, we ran more 11 personnel, and that means Michael Gallup was out there a lot more.
Yeah,
and
he wasn't our starter as in like our number
one
guy.
But I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about last year.
Of course.
Last year, he was our number 2. He had to jump in there immediately and get going, and he could not get going at all really last year. This year, he didn't get going as our number 3. But I'm talking about last year as our number 2 after the ACL. He wasn't the same. And I'm hoping Overshown can get back as a rotational player, not a full-time player like Gallup last year. Rotational player, he'll look better than someone like Gallup who had to be a number 2 receiver immediately, like coming into the game and play every snap. So as we wrap, let's wrap it up with Dak Prescott. And the great Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman spoke about Dak Prescott, but before he did that, new dad Dak Prescott. Here's an interesting thing, guys. We talked about MICAH being the highest paid defensive player. Mm-hmm. Dak Prescott is set to become the NFL's highest paid player if he gets a deal this offseason. Again, it has to get done for the Cowboys. Basically, it should get done for the Cowboys when this new year starts here, the league year. But there's $59 million on Dak's cap hit right now. The easiest way to fix that would be, of course, to restructure, which we talked about that. But if the Cowboys want to keep him around for a couple more years, the easy way of fixing that is to extend him. League leader in 36 touchdowns this past year, MVP type year. And if you do that, you're going to make him the highest paid player in NFL history. Something in the range of 5 years, $285 million, probably an average of around $57 million per year to $60 million is what to expect. That is currently, so let's say he gets $57 million. I'm just throwing it out there. $57 million is the jump. Let's say they could get agreed at $57 million for Dak. That is a $2 million increase over the last highest paid player of all time. The last highest paid player of all time, do you know who that is? Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, who signed that deal last September, and he was $55 million a year. He jumped over Hurts, who was, I think, 53, and Herbert, who was 50. I think it was Hurts, Herbert, and then it was Joe Burrow at $55 million per year. Dak Prescott, let's just say he's at 57. That is a $2 million jump from last year to this year, which would not be the worst thing in the world if you really think of it like this. This jump should be a lot bigger.
I agree.
And it could be to 60.
When you break it down that way, yeah.
When you look at it at $60 million, again, when you look at September, who will be getting paid the money? There'll be a new highest paid player in September, is my guess. Like Lamar Jackson. Or somebody. I don't know who's out there.
Yeah, the point is that there's a handful of guys who are
about to get paid.
Be, earning that distinct.
The sooner you get Dak paid at 57, if you get Dak paid 57 at this point, it's probably a good deal. Because 57 for him, and other guys will get 59, 60, 61. At the end of the summer, it'll be up $5 or $6 million a year. So get him now at $2 million more a year. I can live with that. I know some of you guys hate Dak, but when you know how hard it is, how fucking difficult it is to get a quarterback to play even as good as Dak has played, it's very, very fucking tough. Very difficult to get a quarterback like that. You get lucky. You get the perfect system around a quarterback, which it happens, but it's rare. Just like it's rare to get a Mahomes on your team, right? There's only a few quarterbacks that are probably better than Dak right now, about 6 or 7. Dak was not worth $60 million or $57 million, but he is currently next up. And that's the way this works, right? Mm-hmm. So if he does get that money, only $2 million, if he gets about $2 million more a year than Joe Burrow, that's a pretty good deal, in my opinion, for the Cowboys. If they were gonna really truly re-sign Dak Prescott and get him back. Now, there's other people out there talking about Dak. Now, Troy Aikman's we're gonna finish up with Troy.
Yeah.
But on ESPN, on Get Up on ESPN, we had Robert Griffin III speak about Dak Prescott. He said, quote, Dak isn't necessarily the issue. The issue is Jerry Jones and the culture that he has created there for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh. And I agree with that statement. Griffin also, RG3 afterwards on Twitter said, quote, the Dallas Cowboys can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott at quarterback. They can. He was MVP. He was an MVP candidate for most of the last season. Dak is not the issue. The culture that Jerry Jones has created is the issue. The first step to fixing the issue is acknowledging that there is a problem. And as we know, Jerry Jones spoke the other day. You do know what he said, right? The culture is not the problem. He said, if we have a problem with the culture here, then he said, quote, we're in big trouble, end quote. That's what Jerry Jones said. Well, let's finish up strong with the guy on the front cover here of our thumbnail, and that is Troy Aikman. Talk about his guy, Dak Prescott. Now, Troy Aikman is a hard-nosed, kind of an asshole analyst, and he can tell you sometimes you fuck up. He said it about Dak, about our Cowboys, and that's why I personally like Troy Aikman in his broadcasting world, right? But Aikman discussed Dak's contract at the Children's Cancer Fund in Dallas, which was a charity event that was held yesterday. So tell me, baby, about what Aikman said. Troy Aikman, the legend Troy Aikman, said about Dak Prescott.
Said, I benefited from the success of the teams I was on in January. So I understand that there's two sides to that coin. But until you do it, there's always a question of whether or not you can. And I do think this last year is going to be a year that the organization and the players all look back on and see, oh, they really missed an opportunity.
So what's that missed opportunity you think? It's about that all-in 2024 that Jerry Jones said, which includes Mike McCarthy entering the season without a contract extension.
So, okay, I thought you were going to add more
No.
that. So, but, Troy Aikman added in there too. I think that there's been some of those in the last 20 years where they've been the number 1 seed, but the way the year ended for them being the number 2 seed.
This year, yeah.
I really thought that they'd be in the NFC Championship game. I'm certain they thought the same thing, and nobody cares what my plans were, but I didn't make plans because I planned on going to San Francisco and watching that game.
And again, we all feel the
people,
same,
So
right?
even Troy Aikman kind of preemptively cleared a schedule saying, hey,
well, we
I'm
talked
going to be
about
watching that game.
Remember, we talked about that? That he was going to the San Francisco game to be like a presenter. And in the back of his head, he was like, the Cowboys should be there for this game.
So
the script wasn't written that way.
Yeah, and he had it in there. Yeah, it was a missed opportunity. You just don't know how many more of those you're going to get.
Oh, he's talking about this past season, yeah. Being a second seed. I'm sorry. I thought he was talking about this upcoming season. I didn't know he really... I didn't realize...
I was...
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize... No, I just thought it was me that misinterpreted.
Okay, all good. So he said the criticisms are real and they're going to continue to get louder each year that they come up short, just because of the amount of time since they've been able to get back to an NFC Championship game.
Yeah, almost 30 years.
So again, Aikman's not saying anything that we didn't already know, but it's nice to hear it from him directly, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott, didn't he say that he was, quote, definitely confident, and in the end it'll happen as far as his contract is concerned? That's what Dak said, at the same event. So I think Aikman was asked about that, right?
Yeah, so
and what do you think about...
he doesn't think that Dak has anything to worry about in the future as well, saying, I don't think it is. They've got to do this real deal, don't they? They've got to free up some money, so he'll be here a little while longer, and he should be. He's proven he can play at a high level. I know they've come up short as a team, but he's been a great player in this league, and his best years are ahead of him.
Well, again, that is the hope here for our Cowboys. And in the end, I agree with Troy Aikman. Lost opportunities last year. I agree with Troy Aikman that, the Cowboys fell short and it was ugly and they have to be even more to prove now. But I also believe that some of that missed opportunity is going to come this year. When you look, if the Cowboys do not actually do some kind of real type of all-in, which I don't think they are, it's another wasted year of many of these players' careers, another opportunity. And when you get to that second seed, that's why that was my only hope this last year. If the Cowboys get that second seed, it'll give the best chance for the Cowboys to make a run at things. You heard me say this all year long. We got that second seed and they shit the bed at home. So there's no excuses. Aikman agrees. It's not just on Dak. Dak can play at a high level. We've seen it. It's a team game. It's a team letdown. And I think that's what Aikman was kind of overall saying. Okay. He knows that as being a quarterback for the Cowboys, how sometimes it's all on your shoulders. It's the way it's written. The way you're the quarterback, you get the blame. You don't get really a lot of the credit. But Aikman, he knows what it's about, winning a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys keep coming up short, especially the way we did. This talk will never end. But he does believe Dak should stay. He'll help us free up some money. I think he still believes the Cowboys may go all in. He don't realize probably not going to happen. And guess what? Even if we didn't have Dak's contract, we might have a couple average players that we don't have right now. But overall, this team, yeah, guys, they would not be. We would have $20 or $30 million to roll over for next year for some other bullshit excuse from the Joneses. Do you guys feel me? So even if we've had extra money with Dak on his contract, and the Cowboys still never used it. So that's the issue to me. Let's say we get rid of Dak, start over, now we have no quarterback, and the Cowboys are still not going to use that money to go and get actual good players. So getting rid of Dak would be stupid if you're not going to do anything with it. The Cowboys not going to do anything with it, so keep Dak Prescott. And I think Aikman's saying a very similar thing.
Yeah.
Anyways. Any last comments maybe in the chat?
Yeah.
Since we reached the end here.
Drums and Cowboys saying the real issue is that this team has no leader in the locker room. Dak won't get in people's faces like Troy, but more importantly, he doesn't will the team to victory like elite ones with killer instinct.
Well, there's only, I don't know if
it's just not Dak. Honestly, yeah. It just doesn't seem like Dak's personality. If he tried to do that, I feel like, not saying it wouldn't come across as genuine, because I do think he kind of has it in him, but not in that same way. Like it's just not his personality.
Right, Aikman is more fiery, and Dak is more like,
Dak
come
is
on,
more
guys.
passionate. He has that. I'm just saying, like in the sense of like, he has the same heart. I don't doubt his like heart or passion or desire for the game or whatever. It's just not going to come out.
He displays it differently,
in a negative way. You know what I mean?
The thing is, here's the thing, though. I understand the will to win and for victory and stuff, and he did that early in his career, Dak. Mm-hmm. I think to me. There's very few quarterbacks that can do that anyways. And you got Josh Allen's. Do you think he can will the team to victory? I don't think so. I mean, Joe Burrow, kind of, I guess.
He hasn't been able to yet.
I'm just my point. I mean, him and Lamar Jackson. And I'm saying these guys are going to get paid. Jalen Hurts, you think these guys can will the team to These are the top paid guys right now, right? So I'm not saying we should get a guy who's also not able to will his team to victory, but I'm just saying 99% of the quarterbacks are kind of like at best Dak Prescott, So we still got one of the top quarterbacks. I agree he's not elite. He's not Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers when you have a ruptured hamstring, right? A ruptured Achilles. So I'm just saying, like, Dak Prescott, when he is his usual self, we got a top 7 quarterback, in my opinion. And that you do not find these guys that often. You just don't. And now, if we had a good scheme or a good scheme maker on offense, you can make a case for, like, we'll ride out Dak's contract, get a rookie or a mid-range guy, pay him $20 million, and use that money, which the Joneses won't use that money. But let's say we use that money and all that stuff. But that's my thing, is that if you have the right scheme, that could maybe work. If you have a new coach or a new scheme and you don't know what's going on, you're not sure, and blah blah blah. Guess what? Now you got yourself a shithole of a team, winning 4 games a year, not even competing, not even getting a chance to get into the playoffs to make a run at things, which, again, is very disappointing this year. So that's my point. That's my case. I'm not here to say, Dak's got to stay. He's the best of all time. I'm saying with the way the Joneses have locked this up and put themselves against the wall, these are the options we have. And it's not Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. It's Dak Prescott. Or a shitload of years that are going to be really, really ugly. Really ugly. Unless we get some mastermind scheme maker that can, that can take any quarterback, like Purdy, and then make it like you get a Shanahan here, then maybe we can do that. We don't have that. We have McCarthy, and he ain't doing that. So, anyways,
that's what we got. So we got to roll what we got.
So we're gonna roll with Dak. It looks like, but it's a game that the Joneses play in that front office when it comes to all these contracts, blaming the player. So the fans blame the players, and it's really the Joneses. Let's just be honest. Now,
but we're not playing games.
No way.
We are taking the time here.
Yes, we are wrapping it up.
Shout out the people making things happen here on MCF as we wrap things up. Of course, thank you very much, McLovin, the sponsor of the week, and Cash App King for 3 and 4 weeks in a row, respectively. Jason Renfro bossing that stream around. He's got 80 points there on the board. And Skeptical Fan, continuing his or trying to continue his streak as the membership gifting king. Yes. By dropping some gifted memberships just tonight. Yes,
he's in first place currently on the overall board. So as always, much love to the man staying skeptical. Jason Renfro with the 80 points. I think you said that already. Mm-hmm. The stream boss there. I mean, as the stream boss. And McLovin, not just the 4 weeks as the king of the Cash App. 3 weeks as the sponsor of the week. He currently is in first. He's in first place on both of those boards right now as we speak. So we'll see what happens as the week continues. But McLovin repping it for maybe a 5th week. He's going to get 5 on it in that Cash App. Slight lead right now, and very slight lead overall with Skeptical Fan right there next to him in second place for that top spot sponsor of the week, Mark, which he's got 3 of it, and he's going for 4. We'll see what happens. Guys, let's get those shout-outs going. So put something down in the chat if you want to be shouted out, and baby, let's wrap it up with a quick comment or two if you catch a couple that catch your eye.
McLovin said, did someone say McLovin?
McLovin in the house.
Are you like Beetlejuice, so you got to say your name 3 times you appear?
I think I said it more. I think I said it like 6 times. He's doubling it back up.
Well, there you go.
By the way, McLovin, I see somebody in the chat. Is that with eyeballs? Is that MCF After Dark?
Maybe.
Guys, check them out if you got a chance to check it out.
Burnt Bar, nice
it's a good
try.
show.
Oh, Brandon J, take it easy. Have a great night. Asmodeus, much love. Appreciate you. And yes, guys, look, even with the worst of takes, we will allow them all. And you guys feel free to call them out for the bad takes that you think they are, right? So, speaking of, right? Bad intentions, much love. Dak Delusions, take it easy. Burn Bar, of course.
Burn.
Appreciate you. Lost in Translation podcast representing. We have Kenny MS. Thanks for rolling with us. Mike Aldana, much love to you.
Sorry. McLovin saying baby.
Oh. If you know, you know.
That's the after dark fun.
Exactly. Kevin Bilbo, much love. We have C Bass, of course, representing. Burn Bar, much love to you. Dak Delusional.
I think he's him, right?
Burn
I remember
Bar,
that name.
yeah. Let me see. Bad Intentions. All of you guys, again, huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us. Again, appreciate you all, but baby, there is a reason why we do what we do here at MCF.
Tell them.
I think it's that navy blue.
I know it.
That silver too.
Hell yeah.
And that star over everything.
You see it. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly on this channel, here on MCF, here with the wife, here with the family. We always rep that star over everything. And here on this channel for almost 7 years on YouTube. And appreciate every single one of you guys. But never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. All right, guys. Thank you for repping it. Drop them if you got them. If you're in the membership, drop them if you got them. And if you're into the extra late shows here in the after dark hours, make sure you jump over there at MCF After Dark. But hey, you never know what could happen. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe a lot of shit goes down. Just remember, it gets crazy. Guys, thank you for rocking with us here. We'll be partying over there maybe tonight. We'll see what happens. But for here tonight, it's time to call it a night. And thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat, giving us your thoughts. Can't do this without your guys' impressions and thoughts on our Cowboys. Also, can't do this without your drops of love from above. So let me shout out Mr. Skeptical Fan with his 2 gifted memberships, and Brandon J. People that drop the love from above. Appreciate you guys as always. Can't do this without your guys' support on that side also. Now, as we wrap it up and shut it down, close it out, clock out and drop out for the night, relock and reload for another show probably tomorrow. Definitely not Friday. I think we're going to take off. But we will be back again, guys. So we'll see you soon, baby. Before we can officially drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
And the beat is dropped. Yeah, it's going to be a solo one, guys. Just me tonight. But over there after dark, but you know.
Very hard for MCW to make an appearance during the work week.
Yeah, during the week, it's my schedule's later in the day, much more flexible. Hers is not. So even being up this late for her is pretty awesome. So thank you, baby. But guys, thank you guys for also chilling and repping that star with us here tonight on My Cowboys Family. As we did a whole full and in-depth wrap of the day here as we complete another Cowboys chat on MCF. Appreciate you all, guys. Yes, Dak and Aikman, we heard from both. We heard what Aikman's thoughts were. Always Jerry and Steven looking around, right? Trying to see how low they can spend when it comes to players and who they can blame. And then you got, of course, Zimmer coming in, Cowboy defensive coordinator. Yeah, Jerome Baker's nice, but number 6 right there, Eric Hendricks, is a much better fit for this team and this defense than Mike Zimmer. We talked about that, MICAH's 5th-year option, and so much more. Check it again if you watch this on a replay. Make sure to never forget. It's about the navy blue, the silver too, that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to all of you guys in the house. That's the number one thing. Can't do this without you all, so hit that like. If you're watching now or on the replay, hit subscribe. If you're new to this channel, and keep it growing. Hit the notification bell, move it to all videos. Of course, if you need to follow us anywhere, you can do it at My Cowboys Family, pretty much anywhere, social media-wise, X, Twitter, Discord, jump in there. We got that too. Everything is linked in the description. Much love to all guys. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you over there at MCF After Dark if you show up. Have a good night. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.